Hey guys, it's me. So, we are starting Greek mythology next, and I wanted to give you guys a brief introduction on it before we just jump right into these poems and stories that some you'll like, some you'll be like, what is going on? But here is a brief introduction to Greek and Roman mythology. Ooh, how do I do it? Okay, so what is mythology? Mythology is just a collection of myths and legends that Greeks used to explain the world around them. And although we now view these stories as fiction, the ancients 100% believed they were true. So, another thing about Greek mythology is it's polytheistic. That means there is many gods. The gods interact with humans. They take sides in wars. They mess with humans a lot. But they're not this benevolent being. The gods were very human. They had flaws. They let their anger guide them a lot of the way. They let their lust guide them a lot of the way. But the Greeks and the Romans still worship these gods. So, some of these ancient beliefs. The Greeks were this tough, restless, ambitious, imaginative people. They had a love for life, this society did. They lived their lives to the fullest because they knew death was always inevitable, and their response to death was to make their mark on the world, be a legend. We might die, but they wanted their names to live on. So, again, these cultures had many gods. They were polytheistic. The Olympian gods resembled the Greek need to be grandiose, to be amazing and awesome. And because the Olympian gods mirrored the Greeks, they were heavily flawed. These gods were not perfect in any way, shape, or form, and they also fought with each other. They were unforgiving towards each other. They were jealous of each other. This same jealousy, vengeance, etc. applies to the heroes of Greek mythology that we're going to read about. The first one's going to be Achilles. The Greeks also believed in sacrifice. Public worships were held to obtain public blessings, rain, good harvest, military victories, etc. Private sacrifices were offered for the fulfillment of personal goals, wishes, and victories. Blood sacrifices, such as animals like oxen and sheep and horses and swine, dog, bird, fish, fowl, whatever, were common in these temples that were created for the gods. So, the world as perceived by the Greeks included some of these things. Both good and evil come from the gods along with heroes and monsters. These ideas have to be influential on many other have been influential in many other religions. And many of the conflicts in the myths occur within families. So, let's talk about some of these Greek gods, the 12 Olympians. First, you have Zeus. There he is. Hey, Zeus. He is the chief god, or he's the main dude. He's the lord of the sky. He's the god of thunder and lightning. He married Hera, his sister. Yeah, it's only going to get weirder. He was the person that populated the heavens and the earth, or the god that populated the heavens and the earth. More about Zeus. Oops, let's go back. More about Zeus. He killed his own father. It's a long story. The guy totally had it coming. Zeus is the father of Hercules. He is also the most powerful god, and he appears in a number of myths. Zeus was the main dude. And what else can I say? Let's see. He's not only the main dude, he's probably the worst of them all. He's very unfaithful. He cheats on his wife constantly. We're going to talk about her next. And he just does whatever he wants. He's just this gluttonous god. Speaking of cheating, this is his wife, Hera. Hera is the wife and the sister of Zeus. She is the goddess of marriage. She is extremely jealous and vindictive. And she tries to kill Hercules on several occasions. Then we have Poseidon. Look at that guy. He's got a trident. He is the god of sea, horses, and earthquakes. He lives in a palace beneath the sea. I think SpongeBob lives a couple of houses down from him. I can't confirm or deny that, but I think they live in the same neighborhood. He carries a trident, which is this thing. Oops. That's okay. We can go right back. No, it's too early for you. There we go. He carries a trident, which is that thing. He married a Phaedra. He fathered many children. He's extremely close to his sister Demeter. Then we have Hades. Look at that guy. He's got a 3-headed dog. He is the god of the underworld. He's the god of wealth. He owned all the precious metals on earth. He also kidnapped and married his niece. The Greeks are weird. We're just going to throw it out there. He has a 3-headed dog, Cerberus, and that guards the gate into Hades. Now, speaking of the underworld, the way we perceive, the Western world perceives Hades is like hell, but it is not the same thing. All Greeks went to the underworld when they died. Hades is not the devil. He's as noble as the other gods. Charon would ferry people across the river Styx. No, not the crappy band. And people would bury their dead with coins on their eyes so they could pay the toll to get ferried across the river Styx. There are 3 levels to the Greek underworld. There is the Tartarus, which is the place of pain and suffering. I'm going to butcher these names. Asphodel fields, where spirits roam like shadows. And then the Elysian fields, like I spelled fields wrong, somebody gets a piece of candy, where heroes go. This is paradise. This would be considered heaven to them, that 3rd level. Okay, now we have Demeter. She is the goddess of planting and harvesting. Her daughter was kidnapped by Hades, and this gives the reasons for the seasons because of that kidnapping and her sadness. Then we have Hestia. This is Zeus's 3rd daughter. She is the goddess of family and the home, and her only job was to keep the fire going on Mount Olympus. And guess what? She didn't do her job very well, but we'll talk about that later. Then we have Apollo. Everybody's heard of Apollo. Apollo is a son of Zeus. He is considered the most beautiful god. I can only imagine that him and I have a lot in common. He is the god of light, music, and poetry. He's the god of medicine, and he can predict the future. Then we have Artemis. Artemis is the goddess of hunting, wild things, unmarried girls, and the moon. Then we have Athena. This is Zeus's favorite daughter. She was the goddess of wisdom, strategy, and art. Then we have Hepatitis. He is the god of fire. He's the only ugly god. But he was peaceful, loving, and popular. That's like a really weird detail to throw in there from the Greek gods. Like, oh, wow, this guy was super awesome and everybody liked him, but he was kind of ugly. It was like, why? Why is that necessary? Anyway, he walked with the limp. Zeus was angry one time and threw him over the palace wall, and that's why he got his limp, or how he got his limp, rather. He married Aphrodite. And he is the creator of all the gods' weapons. So like the trident and stuff. He made that. Then we have Hermes, or better known as Mercury. He is the god of shepherds, merchants, travelers, and thieves. He's mischievous and tricky. He guides the dead to the underworld. He invented the alphabet, astronomy, and scales and all that stuff. And he's Zeus' son and messenger. And we have Ares. He's the god of war. He's also missing his nose. He's the god of war. He's boastful and cruel, and he loved to fight. But whenever he would get hurt, he would turn into a big coward and run away. He caused violence and bloodshed wherever he went, and was the curse of all the mortals. So, if you're a Greek mortal, You don't want to bump into this guy because it's going to be no good. Then we have Dionysius. Dionysius was the god of wine. He was the youngest son of Zeus. His mother was consumed by fire after Hera tricked her. Hera was not a very good person either. Or god, not person. He was saved by Hermes. He taught people the art of winemaking and the consequences of having too much wine. Then we have Aphrodite. She is the goddess of love and beauty, the goddess of desire. Flowers sprang beneath her feet, and her son is Eros, Cupid. And that's it. So, that'll be your lesson for today, is just to look at those gods and try to understand a little bit about them. Tomorrow, we will start reading The Rage of Achilles. And I'll send you guys a link to The Rage of Achilles. Yeah. All right. See you. By the way, today was Monday, I can't read that. Like 14th or 15th or 16th. I don't know. It's Monday. This is Monday's lesson. I'll put it on the link.